Probably want to switch these lights to the other ones. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Welcome, everyone.
Alex, can you switch it over to the other than
Thank you.
All right.
All right. Welcome to the Bootleg Bomber panel. Now, how many people have been to this before?
Yeah.
And how many people have never been to this before? Why did you guys come here?
Because I can.
And to my friend Racker.
To the con, or to Bootleg Bomber. Like, did you know at all what we're going to do here today?
I've seen the video.
Oh, good, good. Word's getting round.
Yeah.
I missed it last year and regretted it.
Oh, yeah, you did.
It was fun last year.
Yeah.
All right, so what we do here at Animaine, one thing we always like to talk about is that we're pro-industry. So we always want to help out the industry and not help out people that kind of hurt the industry. And some of the things that really hurt the industry are bootleg items and bootleg merchandise. And a lot of people either don't know exactly what it is or why it hurts the industry, and so we're going to talk a little bit about that, and we're going to learn how to identify some bootleg items, and then we're going to destroy them in a really, really cool way. We've done, first year we did Steamroller, we did Fire one year, last year was Liquid Nitrogen, so
That was fun.
we've got some a good track record with disposing of bootlegs. All right, and also, if you've been here before, you may notice the absence of my usual partner in this endeavor. Greg is very sad that he couldn't be here this year to do this, and he was really looking forward to the way we're going to destroy things this year, but didn't work out, so I'm going to try and do my best to be two people.
There are two people in my heart.
Oh.
Is he
Worship it.
Oh, let's start this.
Wait a second.
Can you tell me what a bootleg is?
A bootleg is a manufactured merchandise that is not licensed by the original creator and is usually made cheaply and quickly to be sold, and then they take your money and run.
Exactly. It's a knockoff item that is created using the intellectual property or something from like a show you like or Animaine or whatever that is not licensed. Like the people who created the show have nothing to do with its production at all, and it's basically just someone is making an item that they'll know you buy because they know it's something you like, and they'll make it really cheaply and just run off with the money because that's what they're there for. They just want to use you to make money, and all the money you spend on it doesn't go back to the people who made the show or anything you like. So you're not actually supporting the industry or supporting the show you like by buying the item. And a lot of times, as you said, the items are made cheaply, so they'll fall apart. They can rub off on your hands. It gets like paint will rub off. The glue just won't stick. And sometimes the quality is real bad, particularly in the case of bootleg DVDs. You can get just like sometimes back in the day before I knew what bootlegs were, I bought quite a few myself, and the subtitles would be off or the compression would be just really, really bad. And also a lot of times the money goes to fund things like terrorism and just, it's not good stuff.
Yep.
So can anyone tell me how you would identify a bootleg? I want to give someone else a chance.
It'd have like a wrong label or like the totally opposite artwork of what the show is.
Yep, that is a way to identify it. If you know what the show is that you're buying and you see something that something looks kind of off, like the name is spelled wrong or there's a character in it that's not actually in the show. I unfortunately do not have it this year, but we usually show this terrible Evangelion bootleg I have that has. It doesn't have Rei Ayanami on the cover, and where she should be is instead this other character that's just not from the show or anything. And in the background there are Pokemon. And it's really terrible. However, we do have this new Sayuki bootleg. And my absolute favorite thing about this is if you turn it on the side, you can see Kite from .hack.
Oh. I get my glasses on.
I remember.
Hey, you can bring it around when people take a look.
See the travesty.
Oh, it looks like a nice, it looks so nice.
Oh my gosh.
That's awesome.
It's like, oh, Hawkeye. I like Hawkeye on the
So that's one way to tell. However, the biggest way to tell any particular piece of bootleg merchandise is whether or not there's copyright information on it. Now, I say that, if you look at this bootleg, it does have some fake copyright information written on it. So that's not always a sure, if it has copyright information, it doesn't mean that it's legitimate, but if it doesn't have copyright information, then it is going to be a bootleg. So that's like with bootleg DVDs, that's a great way to tell. Same thing with CDs. A lot of times, the CDs and DVDs are a pretty easy thing to copy and get reprinted out there. So with CDs, a lot of times it's the same companies that have been doing bootleg CDs for years. There's Sonmay, Anime, Media Recordings. So that's one way you can familiarize yourself with the people who do put out bootlegs, and you can identify them that way by who puts it out. But the better way, I would say, is that if there is something that you really like and you want to research it, and you'll be able to find out how to identify the real one. There's this Evangelion, I like Evangelion if you can't tell. There's this Evangelion disc set that I got that was basically, they got a whole bunch of different artists to do remixes and their version of the songs, all the instrumental songs from the show. And it comes in this cube, it's a 7-disc cube of music. And I didn't know that at the time when I bought what I thought was the legit version, which was all 7 discs compressed into about this big of a case. And if you just open it, the discs just fall out. And I didn't know that at the time, but after I searched it up and read more about it, I found out that it is a highly bootlegged item, and that the original one comes in that cube form. So researching the product itself is another way good way to tell. Other commonly bootlegged items are posters. Posters are really hard to tell if they're legitimate, is the biggest issue with those. Because they're really easily reproducible. You just take them to a printer, you can photocopy and put them out, and almost sometimes you can't tell the difference. A good way to know if they're fake are these plasticky laminated posters you'll find at some conventions. Usually, like, you get 3 for $1 or something really, really cheap. And they'll have these weird numbers down in the corner.
Oh yeah, this one has that.
Bootleg.
Yep, I brought all my bootlegs to the store today.
Awesome. So that's another thing. Does anyone else have know anything else that's commonly bootleg? Oh.
I have a question.
Oh, yes, question.
What about like cosplays?
Cosplays?
Can they have bootleg cosplays?
There can be. There's, when you're talking about bootleg stuff, the biggest thing, like, a lot of people have asked, like, what's the difference between something that's bootleg and something that's fan-made? And generally the difference is when something is mass-produced and made as cheaply as possible to get your money and get out, that's it. That's the issue. It's when you have something that's mass-produced is when you kind of cross the line from fan-made or handmade into being a bootleg. So there are bootleg cosplays out there. Generally, there'll be something you find on Amazon, and it'll be just something real quick. Also, there's bootleg, like if you've gone to any Halloween store and seen like Man Spider, and it's Spider-Man, but just not Spider-Man, stuff like that. That stuff's all technically bootleg.
It's real awesome. My son wanted the Man Spider.
And that's what they always call the Mario Bros. It's always like video game man, video guy.
Italian Power Brothers.
So yes, you can have bootleg cosplay. So does anyone have any? Oh, okay, wow, yes.
They will not have the logo of the company on it. I know there's some places that don't because they lost the rights, and it just reprinted. Like I know Mill Creek, I think is one of them that, or Mill Entertainment or whatever it's called, does some of the older shows and what have you that they got the license or allowing to print out.
Yeah, that's a good point. A lot of sometimes you can have bootlegs that are almost identical to the official item, except it won't have the copyright information on it, and that can happen because a lot of times whenever anything's mass-produced, it's generally sent out to China. And sometimes what these factories will do is after they print the run for the actual legitimate customer, they'll print maybe a couple hundred more, and someone else will run off with those and sell them. Yes?
For posters, misregistration and also the attachments for the posters aren't really properly attached. Like you can slightly slide it and it'll literally fall apart.
Yeah, you can definitely, if you have like a poster where it's crooked or there's like white lines or anything, and as you said, like the attachments aren't good. It also brings up wall scrolls. A lot of wall scrolls are bootleg. Really, the only company that does wall scroll, as far as I know, the only company that does official wall scrolls is GE, and theirs is a logo that it'll be on it, and you'll see the copyright information on their wall scrolls as well. And most of the bootleg wall scrolls will not have any copyright information. I have some great Evangelion wall scrolls that they get cut off at the top, or they weren't printed very well, and you can tell.
So one thing I found with Great Eastern is that even their real stuff is sometimes hard to tell because their print quality is not great.
It can be, but you will find the copyright information. Yeah. Yes.
Well, this is just a question because I try to find rare Death Note stuff, and I don't know if some of it's copyright, some of it's like official or not. I know people say you can't find a licensed Death Note replica. There used to be some, and I think I found some of them. I think I had one, and the only I found one that I got from China. And it's I was kind of disappointed. And it's oh, and the weirdest thing it says, and I found it out. It was Death Note Black Edition, and this literally says that. And you go inside. It's pages aren't white. There's hardly no instructions. And if you touch it, it's this weird. It's weird because as this, like a magazine or something. It's something a little bit glossy, and then you touch it, and your fingerprints are on it.
Yeah, that's the thing is with
at black pages, anyways.
Yeah, with bootleg items, the whole point is to make it as cheap as possible, which means you're not going to get the greatest quality product because I want to get it to you and get your money and get out.
How would you know there's some license?
The way you would tell is if you can find the copyright information on it is the best way you'll be able to find it out. If there's no copyright information, no trademark information, one or the other, then it's almost definitely a bootleg.
I just that's hard for me because I can't see.
Well, have a friend that'll read it for you. And then you can
but I'm just wondering how would you find bootleg Death Note figurines and how you know
same thing. All figurines will have, if it's a legitimate figurine, it will have the copyright information somewhere on the figure.
Usually it's on the base.
Now, one thing I've noticed more and more is that when I go to comic conventions, I've been seeing a lot more bootleg stuff when it comes to anime stuff in general, because usually at comic conventions there's not much anime stuff there, but I've noticed that it's been popping up a lot more where the only few anime vendors that they have actually sell a lot of bootleg stuff, it seems, especially wall scrolls with anything.
Wall scrolls is a big thing. I've been to some conventions where almost everything there was bootleg. So I don't know if it's something that's just more frequently, or it's just, do you know if it's more frequently, or have you just started to notice what bootlegs are more?
Well, Boston Comic Con was a good example, but I didn't go there this year, but in the previous years that I've gone, I've noticed that there's been, there's always that one booth that seems to sell the same exact counterfeit wall scrolls every single year that are in bad quality, too.
Is it an angry guy who like tries to push his stuff?
I didn't buy his stuff from him, so I wouldn't know.
It's like the same guy who goes to like multiple cons in this area who always has the bootleg stuff. It's like there's like certain
There
dealers.
was a guy in Vermont like that. Like we used to have a Comic-Con in Vermont, and there was this one booth that had like, you know those pillows that they sell like on Amazon where it's just like fan art like printed on a pillow? They had like a ton of those and like bootleg Pokemon slippers. And when I noticed the quality of the slippers was off and I made a comment about it to my friend, the guy got really aggro and he was like, oh, it's a thread that fell off a pillow, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it definitely is I think Comic-Con specifically, they're not looking at bootlegs for anime, they're looking at bootlegs for...
The best example,
though.
though,
Anime merch, they don't know the red flags.
the absolute best thing that I saw, even it kind of blew my mind at Granite State Comic Con last year. One of the first booths when you walk right in, and I kid you not, was selling anime posters, and they had doujinshi posters from Assassination Classroom, and you can imagine where that was going.
Oh jeez.
Yes.
So another thing to notice with anyone selling bootleg is ask them. Ask, like, where is this printed from? Can you point out the copyright? If it's not legit, they will go to the ends of the earth to get you away from the booth. But if they are legit, they'll be more than happy to explain to you where it's from, what supplier they got it from. They'll point it out to you. If they're legit, they want you to know they're legitimate.
I think go ahead.
One of my biggest concerns is, like, I know if you're at a con, you can look at the product and see the quality of it. One of my biggest concerns is if you buy something from Amazon, how do you determine if that's a bootleg or something that's
I would say
original or somebody that had something that they bought and they're just reselling it? How do you?
The way if I'm looking for something on Amazon that I'm going to buy and I want to know whether it's a bootleg, go down to the review section and then only look at the 1-star reviews. Generally, if it's a bootleg, someone will have pointed it out and said that it's a bootleg and stuff.
To be real clear, they sell a lot of bootlegs.
And they do sell a lot of bootlegs.
Yeah, that's my biggest concern. Is you think Amazon's a reputable company?
Is generally if
anyone can sell on it.
If it says it's from GE or any of the specific companies that do merchandise in the United States, then it's a good bet it's going to be legit. If it's not, then it's a good bet it's not going to be. There's not a lot of... You'll have a better choice if it's coming from Japan, but not always. You still get bootleg stuff that way as well. Way in the back.
If you're looking for figures on Amazon, a way that you can tell if it's a bootleg is usually whenever I've ordered any figures, particularly Nendoroids, if they've been fulfilled by Amazon, if you receive them and it is a bootleg, you can contact the seller, and I've had no issues with returning bootlegs.
Yeah, Amazon will, if it is fulfilled by Amazon or if it's on Amazon Prime, it doesn't mean it's not bootleg, but Amazon will let you return it. And if you do get a bootleg from something you bought from Amazon, you can report them. Not always will make anything happen, but the more people that report it, the more chance something that will happen will.
Shipping from Japan is not a bootleg. But the problems with looking directly at the reviews to see if it is that Amazon is an aggregate seller, so you can't exactly look at that way because that 1-star review may be for a product from one seller, but there could be another seller selling the same product, but that's legitimate and better.
It's true, but it's usually, in the case that I'm talking about, it's usually when it's only a one. It's not a. It'll have a picture, and it will show you the specific thing, and it's not like it's it's an item that doesn't exist at all, type thing. So there is no legitimate version of some of it. But you said that sometimes it can be, if it's mixed between a legitimate and not. The best way though is just to not get it off Amazon and find it somewhere else.
Right.
Yes.
Right stuff is good.
Well, I was gonna say,
sells a decent amount of like Mythos and
the best thing that I've noticed, like from Amazon, especially with past experience, not just with anime stuff, but stuff in general that I've been victim to as far as like receiving fake stuff, is that if the price seems too good to be true, buy with extreme caution.
Yeah, that is another thing. If the price seems like it's too good to be true or real cheap compared to what you've seen elsewhere, as you said, buy with extreme caution. All right. Does anyone have any other questions about specific types of items? Yes.
What about metal items?
Oh, I was just going to go there. You read my mind. So an item that we haven't really talked a lot about this particular type of item in the past. and we've mentioned it briefly in some of the previous panels, but metal items, specifically things like necklaces, earrings, rings, keychains, stuff like that. A lot of those are bootleg. Now there's definitely legit ones, but generally, as I said, you will find copyright information on each and every one. Somewhere it might be somewhere really tiny and hard to find, but it will be on there. And something that I see a lot of is, you know, those Full Metal Alchemist wristwatches, or not wristwatches, pocket watches. A lot of those are bootleg. Now there are official ones. Funimation did put out an official one, and there are official ones from Japan. But there are a lot of bootleg those. And I did, as a test, I did to one of those what we're going to do today to some other metal items. And I determined that I can't safely do that here. So we won't be doing anything to a Full Metal Alchemist pocket watch. But I do have a whole bunch of keyblades and keys from Fairy Tail that we're going to be doing something to. So I just want to show you some of these quality products I got here. Just a second.
Are you using Apple Maps?
Nope.
That's not Microsoft.
Oh, nice name.
Connect to phone.
Alternatively, I may just have this taken around.
Microsoft.
Can't really move it.
First mistake. First mistake.
Did you try to get a video?
Sort of.
Oh, your screen connecting bit is not connecting because it is not working.
Well, he's connecting to it.
There.
Oh, do we see
That's the
something
camera.
now?
Yep.
All right, well,
It's not really moving.
yeah, well, it's not really moving over here either.
Not enough memory.
Give me a second.
Well, that window moved really fast.
Good.
I want to hide those pictures.
Run, judge your app.
Working good. All right. Let's look at this quality packaging. Yeah, I mean, at first glance, they look good. But if you look on these, and I'm gonna, right, now that I've done that really cool reveal, I'm gonna just turn that off. Sort of,
Maybe.
for now. You wanna come in and just bring a couple of these around? People take a look.
Well, they feel nice.
Well, metal always feels nice, but
Until it's wet.
But so if you look at these, they have no copyright information. If they were legitimate, you would find copyright information somewhere on them. And they're yeah. If you look closely, you can see some weirdness, which can happen on official products as well. But specifically, the thing to look for is the copyright information, and you won't find any on here. And so. The previous years we've kind of shied away from metal objects. It's something that's really easily bootlegged because you can make a mold and then, like, I mean, not by like everybody, but if you invest in the equipment, you can make these and you can pump these out, sell them really cheap, make them really cheap, and they're items that are bootlegged pretty often, as necklaces, charms, rings, as such. And we've kind of shied away from them a lot in the past year because there's not a lot we can usually do to metal items. However, I've really wanted to do something to metal items for a while. So we're going to do that this year. And it's going to be cool. And I think it's about time.
Woo!
He's already here.
No, we're good.
Okay, that's why I'm here.
Two fire extinguishers.
Don't forget the safety glasses.
Alright, let's do it.
I got glasses.
Are we playing with a welder?
Not exactly. I'm holding my feet to failure. No, it has to be like
Oh my god, I hear me something.
Get transmute.
So I'm going to give you all a brief history lesson. It's really cool. In the 1800s, street lamps worked by taking 2 carbon rods and running high amount of electricity through them. And then when you connect them and get them to arc, it created light. It is also really, really hot. And that's what I'm going to do.
Don't get real
He's more excited about this than we are.
Oh, yeah.
No, I think I'm actually excited.
That's why we're back here. Right here.
Right where you're sitting.
You'll see. He's trying to
Right, you filming with your phone?
You know what we should choose? Not film with my phone. We should make like a bootleg destruction video offsite of like high explosives.
I agree with you there.
See what you did. You took 5 gallon drum and fill the gas in. You put your bootlegs in the gas tank, right? Then you connect that gas tank to a car battery.
I know what you're doing, but I want to listen to that. Like, I want to see that.
Let the gas sit for about a couple of months. Then you got some napalm.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, now we're talking.
I'm pretty sure we can find a good piece of ideas.
We are in Maine. There's a lot of like, it's like north south.
And you see where those spare bottle rockets was from Blood Dry? That gasoline,
Or on the tag.
All right. Who's ready to see some stuff happen? Let's see.
Is doing nothing on this end.
Okay.
Should I reopen it?
You may need to reopen it. Well, I mean, yeah.
This is why we can't have nice things.
How well is the internet working? We can stream it on Twitch.
There we go.
Yeah.
The screen can't go off. It doesn't matter.
Oh, okay. It's still.
It's still doing the thing.
Look at the front display. Technical difficulties.
Probably.
So just
One screen.
No, I see what
Yeah. Okay.
all right. I got this key. I'm gonna put it in here. I'm gonna flip a few switches. There's gonna be some intimidating noises, and there's gonna be science.
Science, of course. Bootlegs can be useful.
I kind of wish he was dressed as Dr.
The Bootleg song. If you want to hit the white haired Bootleg song.
Do you want the light off or on?
Off.
Alright.
John,
Beautiful recording on the floor.
turn off the backlight.
I think if we turn off too many, the cameras aren't gonna be.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm about to have a seizure.
So is that key?
Alright, let's have some intimidating sounds.
This is like a homemade arc welder.
That is literally what it is.
Yeah.
It is a car battery hooked up to some metal tubes that's going to be
For some reason, I thought you were going to say arc reactor.
No, it's an arc welder, yeah.
We're about to make some swell noises.
Swole.
I was waiting to hear somebody scream. Shock.
What a shocking revelation.
Don't look straight at that. Don't look directly at it.
Don't look at the thing.
Yeah.
Try this enough, kids.
Oh. Ooh.
It's a nice glowing pit of death.
Do you want to turn this fluorescence off?
Bootleg microwave.
Don't look into
It's gonna be fire.
I mean, it's contained fire.
Hot pockets.
This is probably healthier than Hot Pockets.
All right. I put it in there.
Oh.
It's spicy.
Can I hit the lights back on now? We'll see what's in here. We'll see if it's after that amount of time, if it's done anything.
I was going to say, we can know.
Oh, it still looks the same.
Poke it.
I feel like that's a terrible idea.
I don't say with your hand, jeez.
Just don't lick it.
Poke it with a belt.
Needs more time.
It's not quite done yet.
It's still medium rare.
That's like cool blue.
Yeah.
Melting metal with a car battery. What did you do this weekend?
Actually, sounds like my typical weekend.
You gotta teach me.
Melted bootlegs.
I'm going to his house.
Right.
Hit the lights again.
Yep. The lights again.
Still blurry.
Focus.
The video bootleg.
So what was the reaction to the watch though?
I mean, I'm looking at it. My eyes are still fine.
Oh God, it hurts like bootleg. Hey, look at the trap, Ray.
I mean,
Yeah.
That's making devil
This
noise.
is why you don't cross the street.
No, this is exactly why. If I'm gonna murder bootleg with it.
Oof.
Nice toasty bottom blue.
We got marshmallows.
It wants to hurt my heart to see bootleg stack.
I wouldn't make s'mores. It's probably
Come on, it tastes like burning.
Glimpses of my childhood.
Like, that's bad timing. Oh, the first thing you got some on these.
Oh.
Oh, something's glowing.
Oh, fancy.
I think it's.
I know, I'm trying not to get some.
Now somebody get a hammer so we can roll into something useful.
I think it's dead.
I was.
Ooh. Pour it out.
I will.
Now we're talking. All right. Let's pour it out.
Wow.
Cools pretty fast, I guess.
It does, but also.
Looks like my mom's cooking.
So there your house went.
It doesn't look like real metal, just saying.
So that's what happens when we do one. Let's do a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do a couple.
Bring out your dad.
Let's see how I can arrange them all in this thing.
I want to see what happens when he puts a DVD in there.
No.
The safety police will come for you.
That stuff hurts your lungs.
You can shove a wall scroll in that
my
pipe.
lungs are
That
bad,
would be
like my
very
liver.
fried.
I mean, it's bootleg quality.
So, Colin,
Yes.
why are we not doing a Full Metal Alchemist watch?
Alright, so when I did that Full Metal Alchemist watch as a test,
Mike.
I thought that the thing was made of metal.
Oh.
To be fair, it looks like it was.
No.
However, as we've previously said, bootlegs are made as cheaply as possible. So while the exterior of that watch was made of metal, all of the gears that made the clock function were made of plastic. And what happened was that it started billowing black smoke, which smelled really bad. And I'm pretty sure is deeply poisonous.
You were sending it back to hell where it belongs.
So that's why we're not doing a watch.
Post it on YouTube.
I mean,
Oh, I have
maybe why you
video.
should watch out for bootlegs.
How many are in there, Colin?
There are about five in there.
Yeah, is that full enough?
Yeah, it's full enough for this.
Use floor.
Or it's bootleg volleyball.
It's like the power of Chris compels you. Jeebus.
I'm gonna die soon.
Jeebus right there.
Oh, this hurt my spine. So the thing's like the hilly bibble.
The hilly people. It's like the Mad Libs Bible. My sins are sausage and cheese.
They metal and built the train.
On the 5th day, he ate cheese.
No, I thought that was the first day. That's how the universe
On
began.
the 5th day, he was hungry. He was
No, it's
busy.
the first day. That's how the universe began.
Oh my god.
There we go.
And it was good.
Instead of credit squeakies.
And he looked at it, and he said,
He flipped the switch and said, let there be light.
Alright,
and then it went out, it's okay.
here we go.
I'm too tired for this. I love this habit.
run in a few cycles just to make sure things don't get too dangerous.
Dangerous? What's that word mean? Roll out. Roll out, believers. Single five. Wait. When they turn it to they say rip. It actually kind of smells.
I can actually smell it.
Yeah. It smells like burnt French toast. To me.
That's just part of the
It's lit.
That's don't worry about it. It's just the lead.
It's
It's just the lead.
Right, let's take a look at where it is, and then we'll put it in some more.
I guess you could say Animaine is lit.
Oh, it just
Well, it's just
videoed.
erect.
Oh, no.
Erect the video.
Oh.
It's back on.
Oh,
Nice,
Mike.
You're on a slate delay.
Oof.
It's very shiny.
They're still melting.
Okay. Put it in for 10 more minutes. It'll cook.
Do it a bit more.
We're cooking it like chicken.
Yes. Like cooking turkey.
I was gonna say turkey by the pounds.
This is something Snoop Dogg and not Betty Crocker, Martha Stewart.
So what made you decide to do it this way, Colin?
Boredom.
That's
I'm just
concerning.
waiting for like legitimately a string of fire just to shoot out the front. You're like, you've done wrong.
You have awakened me.
What people like really made out of trapped souls. It's the souls of people who illegally downloaded Animaine. Delayed reaction.
There's so much love.
So this is the raid.
I'm gonna give it a moment, and then I'm gonna switch out the carbon rods because the longer they go, the more they get used up. And so we'll switch them out for some new ones, and we should see some coolness.
They look pretty cool now.
Oh, they're pretty hot. Right
That's what she said.
Joke's on fire.
now.
Hey, she got that.
Yes, the Charger, the ultimate power.
Is that what's running those graphs?
Why, yes, it is. This entire tiny battery.
There's like a very faint sweetness to it, like they made it with sugar to try and cover their lies.
Too much nothing on hard drinks.
It's sweet children, just like your payments.
No, just like your kids.
Oh, good.
By the way, Colin,
Yes.
I don't think you get enough credit for putting your body on the line to give us entertainment like this.
You have no idea how terrified I was before I tested this out the first time.
Let's all give Colin a round of applause.
Colin has set more stuff on fire for our entertainment than we really should have ever done.
Fire, run them over, with nitrogen.
Destroying blenders.
Colin has messed up his body for us.
Thank you.
In the name of Colin.
You want one holding things on fire.
I can only imagine what Greg's reaction would be if he were here right now.
He would want to do it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Most definitely. We definitely miss him.
No,
I have it all. I have
It's already
for last year on YouTube. Last year my camera decided not to work.
And now it's a hat.
Again?
I still have it. Oh, I laughed so hard I mixed up.
Oh man.
It's not like my home country.
It's a lovely smell. If you go on Amazon,
Man, you really smell that now. It really does smell like almost like burning plastic.
I think that's my soul.
Just
You light up fire.
alloy.
Yeah.
Same smell.
They're made of alloy. That's it.
Oh my god, the wafting smell just hit me like a slap.
Right now we have to It smells a little like the creepy coral pictures we made back in the 70s.
I like it. It smells good.
Yeah, the creepy coral ovens, yeah.
Yeah, they smell. So if we all leave here drunk out of our minds from like cooking these, you know why? Calling you an enabler.
Ryan, this is Breaking Bad.
No, it is Breaking Bad. We're breaking the bad.
Dan's got a point.
First time in a long time we got one. Then we weren't on the edge.
Well, people think we're actually doing an Animaine, it's just sitting around talking about dorky things, but we're doing is lighting stuff on fire.
Yeah.
The world will never know.
Oh, yes, they will. I said it.
Education.
I don't think they'll.
Yeah, I wonder if like something
So you should
in general trip to Springfield. I wonder if they would all go off the entire room or just in one section.
I hope so. I hope so. It's all the sections. I feel like we'll hear like just lost it.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
There's no longer complicated.
Ooh, are we gonna have to freeze it?
Jingle
Well,
bells.
Get back into it.
Public domain.
Free domain, thank you. Jingle is steadily the free domain.
There you go. Fresh frogs.
Lights.
Lights.
John.
John.
Got it.
Dang it, Icy Hot.
Darkness is good for people.
Legs are roasting on a closed fire. Chemicals nipping at your nose. Fumes filling up the entire.
I don't want to repeat
The ultimate Christmas song. A bootleg Christmas.
From Benjamin Works.
It is a bootleg mama.
Yeah.
You made me laugh, and now I feel like
That's your fault, as opposed to what? You were laughing your head off earlier.
I know, but I wasn't even watching that.
No, but you were still at your mic.
Yes, that's true.
If I wear it.
Oh, you can see the smoke coming out of it. The smoke coming out of it.
Smoke. It smells like burning.
The toxins. Inhale
The counterfeiters are dying.
Take a look. Let there be light.
There's only one here.
Alright, I'm gonna pour this out now. Here we go.
It smells delicious.
See, I like how you guys were all really hoping it would be completely liquefied, but that's having a little more confidence in what these are made of. Yeah.
Alloy.
Just alloy.
Oh.
Plastic.
Nope, that's just the casing.
Ew.
Whoa.
Oh, it's already hard.
Wow. That's actually impressive. If that starts forming like a T-1000, I'm out of here.
What time? Does anyone have the time?
7:46.
It's a freckle past the hair.
I think that's gonna be where we're gonna do it. We got a quite a lot more liquid metal than I was expecting, so that was pretty awesome.
747.
But I'm also going to, just so everyone knows, there are different settings to this thing, and I'm on the second lowest. I didn't want to go any higher than that with people around. So when I get home, I am going to be doing it at a really high setting with the rest of these, and I will have that video for everyone to be able to see a lot more liquid metal.
Please, Colin, just don't poison yourself in the process.
I am not going to be anywhere near it.
Wear a mask anyway, just to be on the safe side.
So, thank you everyone for coming to Bootleg Bomber. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed seeing the bootlegs destroyed. If you guys find that you have any bootlegs, we always take donations to then destroy in the Bootleg Bomber.
I haven't, but I love them too much.
And if you have any suggestions on cool ways we could destroy stuff, let us know, and we'll see where the future goes.
Everyone give a round of applause for Colin for putting his life in risk.
Do you have a question?
So next year's a vat of acid, right?
We'll see. We'll see.
Oh, no, I got a good one.
We'll see what happens.
Just remember, it's done in one of these rooms. So
We did one
If we
outside.
do acid, can we get Roger Rabbit?
Yeah. It was totally worth it. We were shaking kill in a circle.
We can have a bonfire.
Yeah, we can go outside.
Alright guys, well that wraps up Bootleg Bomber here at Animaine 2018. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys all later.